ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो नमः। प्रज्ञानां शुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्ठान् पुनरपि दिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपति मधुरभुङ्मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परम् अमृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि। अव्यक्ता एव येऽन्तस्तु स्फुटा एव च ये बहिः कल्पिता एव ते सर्वे विशेषस्त्विन्द्रियान्तरे जीवं कल्पयते पूर्वं ततो भावान् पृथग्विधान् बाह्यान्याध्यात्मिकांश्चैव यथा विद्यस्तथा स्मृतिः अनिश्चिता यथा रज्जुः अन्धकारे विकल्पिता सर्पधारादिभिर्भावैः तद्वदात्मा विकल्पितः। निश्चितायां यथा रज्ज्वां विकल्पो विनिवर्तते रज्जुरेवेति चाद्वैतं तद्वदात्मविनिश्चयः। The Mandukya Upanishad spoke about the Omkara and the four avasthas Jagrad, Swapna, Sushupti and Turiya, and revealed how the Turiya avastha is not actually an avastha, but that is the Swarupa which actually is, and that pervades other three avasthas. Now that portion of Shruti revealed the Swarupa, and Gaudapada Acharya has written Karika called Mandukya Karika, in which there are four adhyayas. The first one, which is Agama Prakarana, revealed what Shrutivakyas had attempted to show. Now the other three prakaranas are using yukti primarily to show how it can be established even beyond the Shrutivakyas. In the sense, how can you augment the Shrutivakyas to show this? Okay. So the second chapter, the Vaitatya Prakaranam, it is fully yukti based attempt to show that there is a non-determinability of the Jagat. That is Vaitatyam. Vitatha means it is not establishable in any one way, which is invariable. So when you have established something as this, if it stays the same, then there is an invariability. Whereas in the case of world, there is a Vaitatyam. What it is, whatever you are saying it is not that. Vitatha. Tatha means that manner. It is not in the manner in which you are saying it is. Okay. So that is the attempt here to show using yukti that there is a Vaitatyam of what you are experiencing. Though you are experiencing a world, though you are experiencing, a set of so-called tangible experiences which you determine to be the truth. Okay, so you make a conclusion that your experience is all truth, and that conclusion is not based on factual reality is what is the attempt. And for that, yukti is used. Purely logic is used in this chapter to show that there is a kind of vagueness, there is kind of indeterminability that exists in all your experiences. And once that is established, then Karikagara goes into Advaita Prakarana, and finally Alada Shanti Prakarana. We will see all that later. Okay. To even establish Advaita, first you have to show the shakiness of Dvaita. The Dvaitam itself is not establishable, is what is the attempt here. Okay. So towards that, this chapter, this Prakaranam started by saying that just like dream, though appears as real, is not actually real, and that is established. Once that is established, it was also shown that the waken is similar to the dream. Here also, all that you are experiencing has a dependence on the Swarupa was kind of shown. Okay. And few aspects of doubt were raised and they were clarified. And we will start with the last one that we saw. Avyakta eva yeantastu sputa eva cha ye bahihi kalpita eva te sarve visheshashatu indriyantare. So there are two kinds of experiences that you have in the vacant state. One is the tangible world that you can see, you can touch, you can smell, you can taste, all those things, right? This is a wall, this is a computer, this is sun, this is moon, this is mountain, all this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my body, all this is one, that is puta, very tangible set of things. Then there is the intangible, like emotion, my dreaming, my imagining, all those things, right, which is not sputa. So mano vasana matra abhivyakta. So there is sputa, which is bahihi, avyakta antaha. So there are unmanifested or non-tangible bhavas, which is like the emotion and imagination and those kind of things, and the very evident tangible things, which are the touch and smell and other things which are there. So both these experiences are there, but then though there is a difference in the two sets of experience in the kind of experience they are, but in the nature of them, either of them is not true. Kalpita evate sarve. Why kalpita? Indriyantare eva visheshaha. The difference is only in the form of the instruments by which that experiences are consumed. The instrument of tangible experience is your jnanendriya and karmendriya, right? Your eyes, nose, primarily jnanendriya, but since karmendriya also leads to certain experience, so I'm adding that also. Now these indriyas, when they are directly involved, you have the sputa experience, tangible experience. When mind alone is involved, okay, and prana and all that, the inner organs and inner mind and buddhi alone are involved, then it is avyakta, intangible experiences. But then both these experiences have their no substance in them, because the substantive in all the experiences is the chaitanyam only. So the difference is only in the instruments by which you are experiencing, and the instruments themselves are experienced. Your karanas are part of experience, and what is experienced through those karanas are also, part of your overall experience. Therefore, all these are dependent on your swarupa. The nuance between an external experience and internal experience doesn't establish or negate the truth of those experiences. That was, we had seen this. Then we stopped with this jivam kalpayate. Okay, jivam kalpayate purvam tato bhavan pratak vidhan bahyan adhyatmikanschaiva yata vidyastata smritihi. So there are, we said, bahya adhyatmika bhavas. That is puta and asputa, right? There are the two forms of experience. Here he is calling it as bahya adhyatmika nam bhavanam iterator nimitta naimittikataya kalpanayaha kim moolam. So what is the cause? What is the, how is this created? So when you say that these experiences have come about, how have they come about? Bhavatu sarvasya kalpitatvam sa punaha sarvakalpana kena dvarena iti ashankaya aha. Okay. The maybe it is a kalpana. Maybe you are saying it is all like dependent reality. But then how does this creation? Kalpana means creation, manifestation. So this manifestation is due to what? What is the moolam? Kim moolam? Why should this manifestation happen? How does it happen? Right? You can say this is all kalpana, this world, I am seeing this world, but you are saying this is all, as though world. So what is the reason and how has it happened is the question. So for that, this jivam kalpayate purvam, the how part is explained. Why is, we'll come to why. How is what is explained. How does it happen? Just to understand what is the satyam. Honestly speaking, this why and how is needed only if that is a reality. If suppose a pot maker takes the clay and then creates something out of it and it's a very tangible kind of thing, then you can have all kinds of questions about it. Okay. But if you are only imagining a snake on the rope, so there is no karanatvam, why and all that does not need to be explained because it doesn't even exist. There is no snake, there is only rope. So you don't how can you explain the karanatvam of, and the why was snake created on the rope and all is not meaningful because there is no snake, there is only an error. Therefore that question comes later. Let's not even get into that because it is going to be dismissed. So the key question is how. Okay, how is, so if it is only rope, how am I seeing a snake? Okay, or how is it happening? That is the question being addressed. So bahyadmikanam bhavanam iterator nimitta naimittikataya kalpanayaha iterator nimitta naimittikatvam is there. One is the cause for the other. The inner imaginations and outer experiences, they are mutually related. No, when I am seeing a cow, when I am seeing an elephant, when I am seeing a tiger, when I am seeing a lion, my experiences are different, my emotions are different, my conclusions, the how I react is different. If I see a cow which is, which is not very, which having a big horn and all that, then you will be afraid. But if it is a sadhu cow, then you just go near it, touch it. But if it is a lion or a tiger, you are not doing the same thing. So there is difference in the way you react. So your inner emotions, inner conclusions, inner knowledge of those external objects have an influence on how you deal with the external things. and how you deal with the external things have an effect on what you think about them. So there is a nimitta naimittikata kalpana is there between them, between what bahya adhyatmika bhavana. Your external experience and internal experience have some connection. They are not like independent. So what is the reason? So this whole thing, this complex experience, how does it come about? Okay, so he says Jivam hetupalatmakam aham karomi mama sukha dukkhe iti evam lakshanam purvam kalpayate. So Puja Swamiji in one of the sessions he spoke about in I was listening to Mandukya thing again. He actually took Mandukya Karika during our course. So one thing he spoke about on Gaudapada's usage of Buddhist words. So the same words which were in vogue, prevalence during his times, which had Buddhist connotations, he reused them. Swamiji used the term reminted. Gaudapada reminted the words used by Buddhas to give new meaning to them. Okay. And he used the same words and finally says, Etad Buddhena na bhashitam. It was not, this is not how Buddha actually explained that and all that. So, in that context, Pujya Swamiji spoke about this concept of reminting contextual words, okay, which are in vogue at the time of the person writing about it or talking about it. So he gave an example. The example he gave is in today's context. So Christian words are in vogue, right? Like sin, original sin. Then they talk about cross, resurrection, Christ, and all that. So Swamiji said if he were to remint it, the way he will say is a cross is time and space. Time is the x-axis, space is the y-axis. Okay, time is linearly progressing, right? Space is about, this is space. A vertical line indicates space, horizontal line indicates time, and time and space constitutes the cross. Okay, the jiva when is crucified, is ahankara of the jiva. Ahankara is crucified in time and space. Okay, when the ahankara is along with the time and space are gone, then the Brahmavastu or the Christ is resurrected. Okay, the fullness of Atma comes out because your Ahankara is the inhibiting thing. So the Ahankara and the time and space is what limits you from being your fullness. So so he said if he were to remint the Christian words for Vedantic, exploration, the way he said he will say is in the cross of time and space, when the ahankara is crucified, the Christ, which is unborn and which is who never dies, the eternal Christ, which is the Brahmavastu, is reborn. It's called reminting. Okay, using the same words to give out, yeah, you are teaching for people to understand. So where I'm going with it is, in that the original sin also he spoke about. Okay, the original sin is the jivatvam. Okay, it's the jivam kalpayate purvam. I kind of hinted on this in the last session itself. The original sin, which is jiva kalpana. So they also say, no, this Adam and Eve, Adam is Atma, Eve is Jiva. Okay. This Adam, Atma, they called as Adam, and Jiva is the Eve. Okay. So the Atma Jiva Kalpana was the first one. Okay. The Atma became Jiva. That is the first Kalpana. That is the first sin. Okay. Then is born the entire world of samsara. That is somewhere I read that Adam is Atma. So when this in those days, it is believed that Vaidika Dharma was Hinduism was prevalent all over the world, right? There was no other religion per se. The way they interpreted Atma as Adam and Jiva as Eve. So it's one. See, all these things are only like, hypothesis, right? There is no historical record or anything, but it kind of looks meaningful. Okay. Now, Jivam Kalpayate Purvam. The first one that happens is the Jiva Kalpana. What is the Jiva Kalpana? The Hetu Palatmakam. I am an entity which is which engrosses in cause effect. The samsara is cause effect, no? So samsara is I do this and this is the benefit I accrue. Therefore, I do this, and by this benefit, I am happy. The kartritva bhoktritvatmakam jivatvam or hetupalatmakam. So something is done and I get some benefit out of it. So I act. Then an impression of that happens in my core personality that makes me long for similar things or hate a certain set of things. So my life goes on. That is what is called as jivatvam, hetupalatmakam. Aham karomi, mama sukha dukkhe, iti evam lakshanam. I do this and I experience happiness and sadness because of what I have done. I have this concept of dharma and adharma, and that makes me guilty or satisfied, whatever. I get hurt if I don't get a benefit. So I have guilt, hurt, complexes, happiness, sorrow. So I keep acting. That is called as hetupalatmaka jivatvam. And that is the moolam. Okay, that so if you were to say what is the problem you are trying to address, it is the jivatvam. Because everything else is on top of this. The underlying thing is jivam, hetupalatmakam jivam. Okay. So kalpayate purvam. Therefore, it is purvam kalpayate. Because whatever is the root cause of everything, you have to say has to come first. It can't come last, right? So that it is the basis of everything. The whole samsara is sitting on top of this jivatva. Anevam lakshanaha eva shuddhaha atmani rajvamiva sarpam kalpayate purvam. Whereas this jiva is on what? Is on the Brahma Vastu, Atma Vastu, which is a Shuddhatma, Anevam Lakshanaha. The Shuddha Atma is not in this form of Hetubalatmaka, Aham Karomi, Mama Sukha Dukke. This is all on Jiva only. The Ahankara only thinks I am Aham Karomi, Mama Sukha Dukke. But what is this Ahankara sitting on? Which is the Chinmatra Vastu, which is Shuddha Atma. It is just Swayam Prakasha. It is self-effulgent light. Like in the Nataka Deepa Prakarana, we have seen the light which lights up the stage. The stage will have all drama going on. The people come and act. The whole script, somebody comes and sings, somebody comes and delivers a big dialogue. People come and go in the stage. All the world is the stage. But the whole stage is seen because of what the light which lights up the whole thing, and that light is never cognized. It is taken for granted. But if not for that light, there is no drama scene. And that light is your Swarupa, which lights up the whole thing. And everything else is as though appearing. Okay, Suddhe Atmani. This that which lights up everything, it lights up good and bad. Hetu, Phala, Aham, Karta, Kartatvam, Bhoktritvam, everything is lighted by that Swarupa, but itself is untouched by any of those. Therefore, it is pure. Anything impure can be lighted up by it, but that doesn't make the light impure. Like Talamalinavati, Acharya says in one of the places in Bhashya, in the space, if there is dust floating in the space, does it make the space dirty? Space accommodates everything. It accommodates fragrance also, it accommodates bad smell also. It accommodates, good things. Also, it accommodates dirt also. Everything is accommodated in the space, but the space doesn't get touched by any of those. Similarly, the Swayam Prakasha Jyoti Swarupa, Atma Swarupa is Shuddha. It is pure, untouched. Rajvamiva Sarpam Kalpayate. On that pure Atmastu, this Ahankara Jiva is Kalpita first. First here means that is the first level, not first in terms of time, because this Kalpana cannot come in time. Jiva is Anadi, but Antavat, because Jivatvam, once falsified, goes away. But you can't say Jivatvam started in time. So this Purva means fundamentally the fundamental Kalpana is the Jivatva Kalpana. Not that Brahman suddenly started the Kalpana of Jiva. Brahman was Brahman. Then one day suddenly it thought, let me make a Kalpana that I am Jivan. It's not like that. Okay. It's just an expression. So just to understand that it is the Brahman which is in the form of Jiva. That's all is the intent. Okay. Bahusyam Prajayayati Satapotapyata. All that Bahusyam Prajayaya means may I become everything. So till then there was no Prajayayatvam means what? It's about, if it is about Srishti, what is being said is it is the Brahman which is manifested as all this. That is the import of it. Not to say in time, because the time itself is Kalpana. Tataha tadhartyena kriyakaraka palabedena प्राणादीन नानाविधान भावान बाह्यान आध्यात्मिकांश्चैव kalpayate. After the jivatva kalpana, then what happens? Kriyakaraka palabedena. This mama sukha dukkhe aham karomi is the jivatvam. Now that the jivatvam, the jiva has the ability to act and see oneself as a consumer, actor, doer, knower. All this ness, knowerness, doerness, consumerness is superimposed on the Atmavastu, which is Jiva. Once it is superimposed, other things also come into play. What other thing? Kriya, Karaka, Phala. So when I say I am a consumer of food, then all these things come. What is a food? It is an object which is there. How do I consume? I use a spoon. How do I, from where do I take the food? From the table. Unto where I drop the food into my mouth. Where am I sitting when I am consuming the food? On the chair. All these karaka, kartru karaka, karma karaka, karana karaka, apadanam, sampradanam, adhikaranam. And what is the relationship? It is my food. It is the food my mother gave me. Like that. Okay. All these varied things around that act comes into play. That is called karaka and phala. This food was sumptuous. The milk halwa that I ate was very, very sweet and sumptuous, or I liked it. That is phala. And it costed my pocket by 500 rupees. That is also phala. Tataha tadartyena kriyakaraka phalabedena. Different types of phala and other things is all linked to my experiences. Pranadin Nanavidan bhavan bahyan adhyatmikanschaiva kalpayate. Here there are certain things which are inner, certain things which are outer. All the seven karakas which eating and the instrument by which I am eating is all outside, but feeling the pinch of the money I spent, feeling the happiness of the taste is all inside. All together is what? Is a jiva experience. Tatra kalpanayam ko hetuhu iti uchyate. Sir, this I understand that everybody knows what is worldly experience. No, you don't have to explain it. But what we are trying to explain is this experience has its root in what? What is the Kalpana Hetu? Why is this? The root is the Jivatva Kalpana, that I am happy by being a consumer. I am happy by things which are external, and my getting that. I have likes and dislikes, and I need to become happy. All these are conclusions which are called Jivatvam, Samsaritvam. Okay. Yaha asau swayam kalpitaha jivaha sarva kalpanayam adhikritaha saha yata vidyaha yadrishi vidya vijnanamasya iti yata vidyaha. It's like a child which is growing. Initially, it doesn't understand anything. It can just see. Let's imagine a child born. So till 3 4 months, it can't even see. Okay, it can't make out even colors and forms and all that. After some time, it slowly recognizes, and then there are some sceneries which are in front of the child, baby. Then it starts making conclusions. Tries to it. There is a process of how the understanding happens. Then it kind of, okay, this is called, this is a person, this is an object. Slowly it acquires that. Then the interactions it understands. Okay, somebody is being kind to me, somebody is not kind to me, and this person is always with me, so it should be someone special. Maybe then it is taught it is mother, it's father, whatever. Then the child grows. So one after the other things get build, and then the whole person is grown after some 4 years, 5 years. It is a very similar thing. Imagery is what is being unfolded here. What is this kalpana? Yata vidyaha yadrishi vidya vijnanamasya iti yata vidyaha. So how the experiences are. See, again, this kalpana and all, we have to, that's why you have to understand there is a jiva srishti, there is an Ishvara srishti. Both are to be understood. So it's not, everything is not this jiva srishti. It's not that I imagined, therefore there is mountain. I imagined, therefore there is moon. It's not like that. So that is unlike in a dream. Here it is not, even though it is all within the same vritti atmakam only, this chaitanya atmakam only, the jagat is. But the fact that a sun is seen, a mountain is seen by everybody as the mountain only, you can infer that there is a Ishvara Srishti. Okay, even though the material for Jiva Srishti and Ishvara Srishti are both Chaitanya Vastu only, but there is an Ishvara Srishti involved here. That Ishvara Srishti is this Jagat, the manifested world. Okay, and that this Jiva Kalpana is the conclusions, and Jivatvam is Kalpita. The Jivatva, it is not that I am seeing something that is a problem, but what I am seeing, the conclusions I make about it is where the problem is. Okay, there are experiences themselves is not a problem. What you make out of those experiences is where there is a problem. How you perceive those experiences, that I am a jiva, is the problem here. Therefore, that is what Shastra is trying to address. Yata vidyaha yadrishi vidya vijnanamasya. As much as the experiences have given me certain perceptions, is how my mind also grows. So if somebody is grown in a very, you know, rich environment, fed to all the desires, will have a different perception of the world versus somebody who has struggled in life, somebody who is born in a slum, someone born with a silver spoon, somebody is born in a modern era, someone born during dark ages. All these also make a person, right? That individual's environment and the overall social context, the amount of cognitive abilities the person has been given, everything matters. Okay, and it's all based on karma model only, and you can always try to ask that question, why is that different, but that's a different kind of discussion. See here, what it's saying is yata vidyaha yadrishi vidya vijnanamasya yata vidyaha. So how what kind of experiences that are available to that jiva, from that there is a smriti, a certain memory is there. Tata vida eva smritihi tasya iti tata smritihi bhavati. And then there are cumulative experience and memory together is what that person is. Any person is product of the environmental situations, isn't it? And then there is a free will where you are bound to act. You have dharma perceptions, and because of dharma you do an action which creates either punya papa, and then that is how the cycle is explained. But the jivatvam is the same. It's the context which changes, and based on your karma visesha, you are born in a certain time and in a certain place in certain context. But all of them together are only product of the context. Okay, so yata vidya तथा स्मृतिः अतः हेतुकल्पना विज्ञानात् फलविज्ञानं ततः हेतुफलस्मृतिः ततः तद्विज्ञानं ततः तदर्थक्रियाकारक तत्फलभेदविज्ञानानि तेभ्यः स्मृतिः तत्स्मृतेश्च पुनः तद्विज्ञानानि इत्येवं वाक्यान् आध्यात्मिकाश्च इतरेतरनिमित्तनैमित्तिकभावा भावेन अनेकदा कल्पयते. This whole kalpana is now it's a loop, like your nuclear bomb or atomic bomb. Once it starts splitting, it just goes on, right? Like cancerous cells, how they spread. So this the bomb, that's how it goes, right? It just becomes big. Similarly, this kalpana also Bhashyakara is giving that how the whole thing grows, it progresses, okay, it advances. Hetu kalpana vijnanam. So palavijnanam. So once the child, take the example of child, no? So once it understands, first thing it understands is when I throw the ball, it hits the wall and comes back. Then it understands. Okay. So one initially, what happens? Then it understands what is called a resistance. Then some more about that resistance. Okay. Similarly, when I tell something good, my mother becomes happy with me. When I crack a joke, it becomes more happy with me. When I go and hug, she becomes more so it understands, like it, these are all cumulatively. You have a knowledge, then an event happens, it reinforces your knowledge. You do something more, another event happens because of what you did, that further reinforces your knowledge. So it goes on, right? That is how the whole pravritti is happening. So that's how Bhashyakara here says hetu kalpana vijnanat pala vijnanam tataha hetu pala smriti. Okay, so the fruit, some product of an action tells you, gives you the understanding of connection between an action and the fruit of the action. And then you remember, oh, I did this last time, it led me to this fruit, this benefit. Now I can do that action again in a better way, I'll get a better fruit, right? Tataha tadvijnanam. Then tataha tadarthakriya Karaka, Tatpala Bheda Vijnanani. So all the differences, the Artha Kriya, the beneficiousness, what instruments can do, what, all those things. Then again that leads to further knowledge, further knowledge. So it goes on, right? But what is the root cause of all this is the fundamental thing that a jiva thinking, that root cause effect is what creates the happiness and fulfillment for me. I am dependent on these things. That is the most fundamental. Okay. And how does it happen? Anischita yata rajjuhu andhakare vikalpita sarpadaradibhirbhavaihi tadvadatma vikalpitaha. We again briefly saw this, I think. Anischita yata rajjuhu. So in when the rope is not properly recognized due to andhakara, due to the darkness or partial light which is available, you don't recognize that it is a rope lying in that not well lit place. Then what happens? You take it for different things. Sarpadara adibir bhavaihi vikalpita. It is taken as all of those, or some of those, or one of those. It doesn't matter. Okay. It is taken as non-rope. Similarly, Atma Vikalpitaha, because you don't recognize what your Atma Vastu is, Avichara Siddham is why we call, Shastra calls this as Avichara Siddham. Because by nature you are externally focused. Because as soon as you open your eyes, the world is there in front. Okay, so you are always outside focused and driven by your own conclusions about those things. That is your world experience. So because of that, you never have seen what you are. The inward focus has not been there. Turn it to you. We say, no, in spiritual parlance, look inside. These are the terms. Then inside means again we will, oh, it inside your heart is Atma. Not like that inside. Inside your vritti, your experience, the content of experience is what is called inside. So, but we are naturally we are outward focused. So therefore the Atma is Vikalpita because Anischita Atma. You don't know what is Atma. तत्र जीवकल्पना सर्वकल्पना मूलम् इति उक्तम् सा एव जीवकल्पना किन्निमित्ता इति दृष्टान्तेन प्रतिपादयति. By an example it is shown how is this जीवकल्पना happening, why is it happening, because you don't know what it is, so you are making all kinds of conclusions. यथा लोके स्वेन रूपेण अनिश्चिता अनवधारिता एवमेवेति रज्जुः मन्दान्धकारे किं सर्पः उदकधारा दण्डः इति वा अनेकदा विकल्पिता भवति पूर्वं स्वरूप अनिश्चयनिमित्तम्. Because you haven't yet understood that it is a rope, पूर्वं स्वरूप अनिश्चयनिमित्तम्. The true nature of it, the form of it, what it is, because it is not known to you first, then you are making your own conclusions based on the impressions that you have. You know that a snake looks like this, so you are thinking, it is only snake. Last time I saw the snake, its tail was like this only. Or you have an impression, oh, it's I think a stick. Last one I saw 3 days back, there was a stick lying there which had the texture like this. Dandaha, Udakadara. I think it is the water leaking from the plumbing which is going under the ground. So which is lying here. I saw the same thing in the other house when the pipe broke. So all this is due to what? Your own impressions of what you have seen before. Similarly, this is a kalpana. Okay, so it's an Ishvara kalpana and Jiva kalpana. Both are involved here. But the fact is here about the conclusions you make. The conclusions are made by Jiva only, not Ishvara. So the fact that the rope is lying there is Ishvara Srishti. The fact that you are seeing a snake there, you are seeing a stick there, you are seeing the water there is Jiva Srishti. So a mountain is not a problem. It's Ishvara Srishti. You can enjoy. But the conclusion that you make that this mountain is going to burst, the lava is going to burst, and then getting afraid of it and running away from the mountain is a Jiva problem. Okay, so that's what you have to understand. Yata loke swena rupena anischita anavadharita evameveti rajjuhu. Okay, you haven't, in the world, giving an example here, if you haven't understood it is a rope, mandandakare kim sarpaha udakadara dandaha iti va anekada vikalpita. So then you will be wondering, is it snake or is it a danda stick or is it water? What is this? First you will run thinking it is a snake. Then it is not moving. Oh, maybe it is not snake, it is danda. That is a jiva life. यदि हि पूर्वमेव रज्जुः स्वरूपेण निश्चिता स्यात्. See, this is where this avidya is the root cause. It's clearly said by Bhashyakara. Okay. I don't know. Some people say there is no Mula Vidya Vada and all that. There is only error Adhyasa and that kind of a thinking some people have brought in. But that is all I don't think it holds water, because see this, here he says, यदि हि पूर्वमेव रज्जुः स्वरूपेण निश्चिता स्यात्, if the rope had been known before, न सर्पादि विकल्पः अभविष्यत्, the world would not have been seen by you. So avidya is the cause. And there is also another interesting thing here which you have to understand. He says if the Rajju had been known before, there would not have been world. Means what? There is never a world. There is never a Sarpadi Kalpana. It is only because you didn't know the Rajju, there is a Sarpadi Vikalpa. So this Jivatvam and all the experiences of the experiences as in the implied experiences, not seeing sun and moon and mountain, but the happiness and sorrow and cause effect and other things that you are seeing, you wouldn't have seen if you had known upfront that this is Swayam Prakasha Jyoti. I am all that is here. If that knowledge had been there, there is no possibility of the Jivatvam. So there is no, it's not that Jivatvam is there and then it is gone. It's only that you don't know the Vastu. न सर्पादि विकल्पः अभविष्यत् यथा स्वहस्ताङ्गुलीयादिषु एषः दृष्टान्तः. Your fingers, you don't take your finger as snake. It is, you snake it, you can, because it is known to you. Similarly, if Atma Vastu was all that vritti had been there up front, then all this samsaritvam would not have been possible. तद्वत् हेतुबलादि संसार धर्म अनर्थ विलक्षणतया स्वेन स्वेन विशुद्ध विज्ञप्तिमात्र सत्ता अद्वय रूपेण अनिश्चितत्वात् जीवप्राणादि अनन्तभाव भेदैः आत्मा विकल्पितः इति एषः सर्वोपनिषदां सिद्धान्तः. So the Upanishads are revealing what? Tadvat hetubaladi samsara dharma anartha vilakshanataya. Okay, the hetubaladi samsara dharma. What is the samsara dharma? The hetupala. I do this, so I get this benefit. Because I do this only, I get this. Therefore, only I am happy. By getting this scooter only, I become happy. By possessing all these things, I am happy. By becoming a thin, good-looking person only, I am happy. By having these kind of relationships only, I am happy. By getting rid of this problem only, I can become happy. I am the small person. I am limited by time. I am limited by space. I am limited by happiness. I am being kicked around by all these things, and that is how my Swarupa is. This is all samsara dharma, and this is anartha. But vilakshanataya, very different from it. What is the Swarupa? Svena Vishuddha. By itself, it is pure. There is nothing which can make it dirty. It is Vishuddham. This Vimala. Christians say no. This Vimala. There is no Malinatvam in it. It's a Shuddha. And it is Nitya Shuddha. Therefore, Vishuddha. It's not like after cleaning it becomes Shuddha. With all the dirt on it, it is still Shuddha. Because it is untouched. Because there is nothing other than it. So Vishuddha Vignapti Matra. It is Jnaptihi alone. The Swayam Prakasha Jyoti, this Chetana was Chaitanya Swarupa, Jnapti alone. The very essence of consciousness, what obtains in all the vritti, all the experiences, as the light, that which illuminates Satta Spurti Pradhanena, as the very existence. It's not a vritti, it is the content of vritti, which is existence itself. Therefore, Satta, Vignapti Matra Satta. It is both, it's not inert. You don't think of Atma as an atom, like just a Upadana Karana. No, it is Nimittam as well. So it is consciousness, Vignapti Matra Satta, and Advaya Rupena. It is non-dual. There is nothing other than it. All that is here is only Satta. And that is Vijnaptihi. And it is Vishuddha Satta. Therefore, it is Advaya. Advaya Rupena Anischitattvat. Because you haven't seen the fact. That's why Anischitattvat is not like establishing or concluding here. It is not clearly seen. In fact, you don't even attempt to see it until a particular thing happens. When then mumukshutvam, jignasutvam, then you start seeing the fact. Till then, forget anischitattvat. It is not, it's avicharitatvat. That's what we should say. Anyway, so anischitattvat, jiva pranadi ananta bhava bedaihi atma vikalpitaha iti. So this atma is then seen as so many things. As what? Jiva pranadi ananta bhava bedaihi. The jiva and then prana. Prana is what in Bhashikara later is going to say is prajnaptihi. It's a prajna, deep sleep state. Okay. So this, which is the avyagrita atma. This avyagritattvam from which all this dream and waken and all this come up. Sushupti avastha. Okay. So that is prana. Basically all the vital force, energy and indriya and all that. And then the tangible universe. Then all these experiences. So that's why he says Jiva Pranadi Ananta Bhava Bedehi in this manifest, the manifold. The Ananta is literally Ananta. Okay. We don't know, like we have already discussed many times, we don't know how many universes there, what all experiences are there, till when does time go on, till where does space goes on, and how, what is the amount of object, what is the amount of kalpana. It's unimaginable, mind boggling. Therefore Ananta Bhava Bedehi Atma Vikalpitaha. No scientist will ever be able to get the final word on where does the universe end. It's impossible. That is what is called Maya. Maya Srishti. So if you start going and trying to figure out meaning to this tangible world, to just get to moon, South Pole, it has taken so much, so many ages. It's just a satellite going around the Earth. Okay. And I'm not belittling it, but what I'm saying, the Srishti is so vast. When are we, and is there any end to it? Is there the last planet somewhere or lost galaxy? How do you know what is lost? That you will go and reach ever. So there is no Srishti is so vast. Same with time. So we can't understand this. Only thing we can understand, which there is a final word, is anything which can be there cannot be away from Chaitanya. Why? Because it has to be pervaded by Chaitanya for it to become an object of experience. So the object of experience is always pervaded by the Chaitanya Vastu, any object of experience. That fact cannot be altered. That is a fact. That is, once you recognize that fact, it will never go away. You can keep adding any number of galaxies, but it is not away from Chaitanya Vastu. So the any number of galaxies really don't matter, because the content of all of them is nothing but the Chaitanya Vastu. Because once you establish this cloth and me, when I'm seeing this cloth, this is an object of experience, and this is not away from my Chaitanya Swarupa, then it is applicable for anything. What is applicable to this cloth? Because this is one random object I have picked. And if I have established that there is no difference between me and this cloth, because they are both pervaded by Chaitanya Vastu, that is applicable to this cloth, this body, this chair, and this laptop, and the satellite, anything you take, that is not separate from your Swarupa. That is established. Once it is established, it doesn't go away. The rest all, there is no end. Anirvachaniya Maya. Therefore, here tadvat paladi samsara dharma anartha vilakshanataya. This paladi samsara dharma is not touching this Vishuddhanta, Vishuddha Atma, Vijnana. The samsara dharma is not there in Atma Vastu, but the samsara dharma is also lighted up by the same Atma Vastu. Your conclusion about you being a jiva is where the problem is, and that is avichara siddha. Because your swarupa is Vishuddha Vijnapti Matram. We see how he words very beautiful. Tadvate hetupaladi samsara dharma anartha vilakshanataya swena Vishuddha Vijnapti Matra satta advaya rupena anischitadvat. So this is the definition of what is your swarupa. Within this small sentence, Acharya has very clearly defined what is your swarupa. If you understand this, then Atma Jnanam is Siddham. Hetupaladi sam. So what is samsara? Hetupaladi matvam samsara dharmatvam. So the cause effect is what is samsara. And that samsara is anartha. There is no benefit of the samsara. You can keep acquiring any amount of things, any amount of experiences. It doesn't count. You can have lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees, any number of happy experiences. Do they count? Yesterday you enjoyed Rasagulla. Does it count today? Or 3 days back you got hurt in your legs and you were unhappy. Does it count? None of these count. They are anartha. It just, it's there. That's okay. But there is no value. Therefore, tadvat hetu, even all your identities, what value it is. I am an Indian, I am a Hindu, I am a this, I am a that. There's no value. It's all incidental. Everybody has some attachment to some kind of things. But anartha only. Hetu baladi samsara dharma anartha. That anartha vilakshanataya, this Atma is not having that lakshana. Then what is the lakshana of Atma? Vishuddham, Vijnapti Matram, Sat, Advayam. That is the fullness. And that you are. If you don't claim that ownership, whose loss is it? Mahati Vinashtihi. So you are fullness, you are Vishuddha Vijnapti. And if despite being Vishuddha Vijnapti, which is Ananta Sat, Advaya Rupa, if you can't claim it, if you don't own it up, the losses were not for Brahman. Then you are the Hetu Baladi Samsara Dharma Anartha only you will have. Once that Nischita has happened, that I am Vilakshanataya Siddham, then Jiva Pranadi Ananta Bhava Vedehi Atma Vikalpataha iti Yeshaha. So this Atma then is Prakashate. Okay, it is this Atma Vastu which is in this form. Anischita Yata Rajjuhu Andhakare Vikalpita Sarpadara Dibirbhavehi Tadvad Atma Vikalpitaha. That is what is. Then what happens? Nischitayam Yata Rajvam Vikalpo Vinivartate. Rajjureveti Chadvaidam Tadvad Atma Vinishchayaha. Once Rajju, you have established that yes, it is only Rajju, then all the snake and rope and rod are gone away. The moment your Rajju Nishchaya has happened, Rajju Jnanam has happened, then there is no snake rod. Did they go away? No. Snake hasn't gone away. Snake was never there. That's it. When you identified that it is Rajju, there was never a snake. Rajjureveti cha Advaitam Tadvad Atma Vinishya. Same is with Atma. The moment Atma is recognized, the samsara doesn't go away. The samsara was never there. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.